Good evening, my friends. Major geopolitical story that no one's really talking about. Major shipping lines are avoiding the Red Sea. Is it because of the Houthi rebels in Yemen? Or should we be looking deeper? This is Red State calling this out today. Very concerning. Read this morning, and very concerning. So we're going to go over the geography of all this stuff here in a minute, but don't concern yourself about that yet. Shipping giants Maersk and Hapag-Lloyd have suspended all traffic in the Red Sea following the latest round of Houthi attacks on commercial ships. Now, there's some videos on Twitter about burning container ships. Dubious sources. Don't believe them. Search them for yourself. I'm not going to show any here. Maersk stated that after the Maersk Gibraltar had a near miss from a drone, presumably launched from the Houthis. In a statement, Maersk said, "We are deeply concerned about the highly escalated security situation in the southern Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. The recent attacks on commercial vessels in the area are alarming and pose a significant threat to the safety and security of seafarers." Yes, because basically all these shipping vessels have to be insured. They're not going to go anywhere uninsured. And they have to know the route that they're going, and any place that goes through this particular area right here, we are looking at Yemen. We're zooming into this little choke point right here called the Bab el-Mandab Strait. Nobody will insure a vessel going through there right now, so they have to take the very long route all the way around the Horn of, or around the Cape of Good Hope in southern Africa, and that adds a lot of extra days of travel. So anyway, that's that. It's all about insurance, my friends. Insurance. Getting way back to the days before Great Britain and then the United States controlled the sea lanes. So ship owners are avoiding the Red Sea after attacks increase. And here is Maersk Taekung turned away from the Bab el-Mandeb Strait after Maersk and Hapag-Lloyd announced they have halted journeys through the Red Sea after attacks on vessels. Yes, they need to be insured, my friends. Hapag-Lloyd followed suit. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Hapag's Al Jarash container ship was hit by an unknown object on Friday. It resulted in a fire that was extinguished with minor damage. Again, videos of certain incidents of fires on container ships going around. No idea when or where they're from, so don't really believe them. So, the USS Mason en route to help Liberian flag ship hit by a Houthi missile in Bab el-Mandab Strait. Fire on board MV Palladium 3. According to senior defense officials, there have been 3 incidents in the same vicinity of Bab el-Mandab Strait near Yemen in the past 24 hours. Now, the U.S. has several carrier strike groups in the area. How they haven't blown them the fuck up, I don't know. I do know Biden's weak, but we'll get to that in a minute. Other than major shipping lines making an abrupt decision to sail around the Cape of Good Hope in South Africa rather than use the Suez Canal, the only change was that many ships turned their automatic identification system, making them more difficult to track. So the Houthis are claiming they're only targeting ships owned by Israeli interests or sailing for Israeli ports, which is complete bullshit. The claim doesn't appear to match reality. The real objective appears to be a test run in shutting down 2 of the world's most critical maritime choke points. There are several around the world. We'll look at them also. Without access to both ends of the Red Sea, a large portion of the world's shipping will be routed around South Africa, resulting in price increases and disrupted supply chains. So basically, when you got to go all the way around, hold on, let's look at this map over here. It's a lot larger. So here's Bab el-Mandeb, the choke point in question, and here's the Suez Canal. They're claiming they're going to shut down all commercial travel through the Red Sea here and route ships around South Africa here, the Cape of Good Hope. So the reason why that's significant is if you've got traffic or shippings from China to Europe, you can't just go straight here through the Suez Canal and shortcut it. You got to go the long way around South Africa, and that means you're basically not doing you're only basically doing 2 or 3 shipments from China to Europe and back every year instead of 4 to 5. So that's going to be a significant supply constraint, my friends. So the Houthis claim they intend to shut the Suez Canal down too. We'll see about that. I'm from Missouri, and they're spreading propaganda about how these goat herders with ballistic missiles and drones are going to basically shut down all maritime traffic through the Red Sea. And this is happening under the nose of 2 U.S. carrier strike groups. It's not a good look, but this is the price of Beijing Biden kowtowing to Iran. Beijing Biden doesn't know anything about this, but Valerie Jarrett does. And yes, she does kowtow to her home country of Iran. So we do have within our power to put a stop to this bullshit in short order, but we are not. Congress should explore that reasoning, but they are controlled by Republican pussies, so they won't. So here are the locations of all the U.S. carrier strike groups. We have Carrier Strike Group 69. That is the, hold on, I believe that's the Gerald Ford. Let's double check my work. No, it's 78 is the Gerald Ford up here in the eastern Mediterranean. And 69 is the Dwight D. Eisenhower Carrier Strike Group. It appears to be heading for Kuwait or Dubai. It's probably in Dubai. And LHD 5 is the Amphibious Strike Group Bataan, I believe. So yeah, they're all, this is the area in question right here. These guys are certainly within earshot, at least the Bataan is, and nobody gives a shit. So it's Beijing Biden's leadership in action, but the United States is trying to put together a coalition to guarantee free navigation in the Red Sea of these incompetent buffoons. Khazarian Mafia Jake Sullivan, Jew, told reporters last week that Washington was in talks with other countries over a maritime task force that would ensure safe passage of ships in the Red Sea, but gave no further details, meaning he's not doing fuck all about that. Iran warned that such a coalition would face extraordinary problems. True. Also, they have problems over here on the Strait of Hormuz. Iran does have significant influence on that choke point as well. U.S. Special Envoy for Yemen, listen to this name here, Tim Lenderking. Now, I don't know if he's Jewish or not, but that's about the most Jewish name on the planet. So I'm sure that's a great envoy for Yemen. U.S. wanted the multinational coalition to send an important signal to the international community that Houthi threats to international shipping will not be tolerated. Yeah, I'm sure, Tim, they're really going to take your pussy ass seriously. So shipping companies aren't terribly enthusiastic either. You can hardly blame them, given our record for packing up and fucking off once our flea-like attention span is taxed, just as we did in Iraq, Obama, Afghanistan, Beijing Biden, and what many conservatives want to do in Ukraine. Actually, Ukraine doesn't deserve anything. I think we should make a counter-offer to Ukraine and counter with, yeah, we'll send you some money, and that number is 0. Fuck off, Zelensky. Enjoy your fate. So we shouldn't take a myopic view of this incident. Iran is obviously giving the Houthis instructions, maybe, or is Iran calling the shots, or are they just China's little messenger bitch? That's really the key here during the August meeting of BRICS, because Taiwan's happening, my friends. It's just only a matter of time. The emerging economies group consisting of Brazil, Russia, India, China. We don't really care about this, but Saudi Arabia and Egypt are in the equation for the BRICS, and they control a significant portion of the land around the Red Sea. And Sudan is basically just a big clusterfuck of bullshit. They don't know what the fuck is going on there. So look at the maritime choke point map. There are similarities. Argentina has declined membership. And if you look what's happening in the Red Sea, it's a dry run for shutting down those choke points in the case of war over Taiwan. So let's take a look at these choke points again. Did they point out this one over here between China and Taiwan? It's a minor. It says it's a secondary route. Or I'm sorry, a secondary choke point here between China and Taiwan here, so that's very important as well. Keep that in mind. So, okay, they talk about all the incidents in the Suez Canal over the past couple years. We don't care. So the U.S. Navy exists to protect the U.S. and guarantees freedom of navigation in international waters when they are strong, but right now they are weak. And, of course, it goes over the Barbary pirate raid in Jefferson's time, I believe. But now we're more reticent to do what is right because we are led by a bunch of fucking cuck pussies like Milley and Lloyd Austin. So the Beijing Biden is encouraging rogue actors and pirates, and chief among those political bad actors is China, of course. We'll be damn lucky to avoid a war with China in the next few years, 2027 being the most probable. Actually, China's going to invade Taiwan most likely before that, but we'll get to that when we get there. The Houthi take is calibrated to test the actions of the United States, NATO, and Western commercial interests because we are super weak, and apparently our reaction is going to be do nothing. So, and what are we teaching China is more likely to encourage them, so then discourage them, of course, because we are weak as fuck, my friends. weakest we've ever been in my lifetime. So, anyway, no one made it this far. This is really long. Well, it's only 10 minutes. I thought it was longer than that. She said. So yeah, that's that. We will be going over my 2023 predictions, which were about 80% scarily accurate, and some were just so way off. It's going to be laughable. So please join me for that. We should have that here in the next week or two, as well as 2024 predictions. Spoiler: cyber attack is going to be the number one prediction. And luckily, we did cross off 2 names of our people who I wish would die in 2023. We'll get to those as well. I know that sounds dark, but believe me, it'll be fun. So that's it. If you like my content, hit subscribe, the like button, notification bell, leave me a comment. I read all the comments, my friends. And pick up some non-perishable food, and God bless.